What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Hey Spence, how's it going? Thanks for coming out. Working late on it, apparently. Depending on what it is, you gotta know what you're getting into with your salary. Yeah, doesn't feel like something I'd attempt even. But then, like, being salary at a 9 to 5 place, yeah, need my Timmies all the time. And then half the time I reuse the cup if I don't actually get myself a Tim's. Yeah, well, I'm talking like 9 to 5 where you're dealing with like shipping and stuff because you can't really go over with that. Yeah. I think I did like an interview or group sort of thing for insurance at one point, and it was like, yeah, no, especially the way you're wanting me to go about it is definitely not something I'd do. Not at the time for sure. Hello to the other viewer as well. I see three, but I've only seen Spence chatting, and I have my other account here. There you go. I jumped in the chat. Unless it shows myself as being a viewer. So I guess you don't want me to do this then. There it is. There are three. I don't know. I didn't share it anywhere. I just figured, see who ends up here. It's late. I haven't even really looked at the spoilers yet. Like, I know they're the finishing the Triumph set, which, yeah, that's nice. I'd like to get those. Uh, some of the legendaries they revealed are interesting, but yeah, I haven't looked at any of the stuff revealed yet today. I was gonna do that if more people showed up, or if not, I can just do it anyways. And when I tried to look at the spoilers earlier, I don't think anything else was released and spoiled yet. Yeah, I'm definitely thinking there's going to be Blue Black Red Mill, Corpse Examiner, and the Head of the House look like great mill cards. self-mill at least, which is one of my strategies. Hmm. Beantown Bullets looks interesting. Tap target opponent whose turn it is, puts target non-legendary creature card from your graveyard onto the battlefield under their control. It gains haste. Goad it. At the beginning of the next end step, exile it. Yeah, someone else I was watching a video was saying it that the Phyrexian was like cool when it was the one thing and it was just, oh, okay, that's cool. It's expected now that if they're going to do something or a Phyrexian creature, that they're going to have it with the Phyrexian text. All right, man. Have a good night. Get those numbers out of your head. So, yeah, I'll be doing it more often. I've figured out how to get streaming from my phone, so I can do them from my car like this. Ow. Harnice, the subtle brush looks pretty brutal. Whenever you or a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, counter that spell or ability unless that player pays 4 life. And then whenever you copy a spell up to one target opponent may also copy that spell. They may choose new targets for the copy. These are the commander cards. Pivot, Council's Dilemma. Whenever Tivit enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, starting with you, each player votes for evidence or bribery. For each evidence vote, investigate. For each bribery vote, create a treasure token. When voting, you vote an additional time. Okay. That should be an interesting commander deck. Babean. Creature tokens you control have haste. Parlay, at the beginning of combat on your turn, each player reveals the top card of their library. For each non-land card revealed this way, you create a 1/1 green and white creature citizen token. Then creatures you control get +1/+1 till end of turn for each non-land card revealed this way. Then each player draws a card. 3/6 for 6. Yeah. Cross, defense contractor. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a shield counter on target creature an opponent controls. Whenever you put one or more counters on a creature an opponent controls, tap that creature and goad it. It gains trample until end of turn. Okay. Yeah, not super exciting. Courier's briefcase. One in a green artifact. Treasure. When it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. Tap and sack, add a mana of any color. WUBRG, tap and sack, draw 3 cards. I mean, eh, I don't think that's gonna be very great. Light 'em up. One in red, casualty 2. As you cast this spell, you may sacrifice a creature with power 2 or greater. When you do, copy it. Okay. Light 'em up deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If it hit players as well, maybe, but incriminate. Choose 2 targets controlled by the same player. That player sacrifices one of them. I mean, yeah, that can be helpful when they've got that many threats, but you still need something else to get the other one. It's not expensive, and you can get rid of some big stuff or some annoying just creatures. So an offer you can't refuse. Yeah, that can do good for not much. Like giving the spell controller 2 treasure tokens isn't always the thing you want to do, but you know, if they're trying to psych rift and you counter it for 1 and they get 2 treasure tokens back off of the 7 they put into it, it's not the most horrible thing in the world. Rumor Gatherer. Alliance. Whenever another creature enters a battlefield under your control, scry 1. If this is the second time this ability resolved this turn, draw a card instead. Okay. 2/1. So that's a bit disappointing for 3. I honestly prefer a 1/2. Basic, the lands, tap duels that you pay 2 in the colors to sack to draw a card. Eh, nothing special. Don't even really care about the different art for them. Doesn't make them any more desirable. Nimble Larcenist. Flying, enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. Choose an artifact, instant, or sorcery and exile it for 3 mana, 2/1. Yeah, that's not bad at all. That'll definitely see some play. Vivian of the Hunt. You may sacrifice a creature. Do search your library for a creature card with mana value equal to 1 plus a sacrifice creature's mana value, put it onto the battlefield. Okay. Mill 5 cards, put any number of creature cards milled this way into your hand. And then create a green beast or green rhino warrior creature token. Yeah, okay. 6 mana though. Strangle. Not bad, but again, would be nice if you could hit a player or if it was at instant speed. Murder, we know murder. Chrome Cat. 3/2 enters the battlefield, scry 1 for 3. I mean, if you're playing something where scrying matters. Ob Nixilis. 3 for 3. Casualty X. The copy isn't legendary and has starting loyalty X. If you cast a spell, you may sacrifice a creature with power X. When you do, copy this spell. The copy becomes a token. Each opponent loses 2 life unless they discard a card. If you control a demon or devil, you gain 2 life. Create a 1/1 red devil creature token with, when this creature dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. -7, target player draws 7 cards and loses 7 life. We'll definitely see play. Cut of the Prophets, casualty 3. Draw X cards, lose X life. Getaway car. 3 mana, haste, crew for 1, 4/3. Okay. Whenever it attacks or blocks, return up to 1 creature card that crewed it to its owner's hand. Okay. So pretty much anything can crew it for next. Yeah, that's good in bounce decks. Mysterious Limousine. 3 and 2 white. When it enters battlefield or attacks, exile it to 1 other target creature until it leaves the battlefield. If a creature is put into exile this way, return each other card exiled with it to the battlefield under its owner's control. Crew for 2. Okay. Seems expensive, but I could be wrong. Urbrask, Heretic Praetor. Beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. You may play it this turn. Beginning of each opponent's upkeep, next time they would draw a card this turn, instead exile the top card of their library. They may play it this turn. Okay. So you get an extra card, and they instead have to use the card they draw that turn. 4/4 haste for 5. Yeah, it would be nice if you could get it in on flash, so you could get it at the beginning of your turn to start, but Gala Greeters, 1 and a green for 1/1 Elf Druid. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Put a +1/+1 counter on it. Create a tapped treasure token, or gain 2 life. Elspeth Resplendent. 5 for 5. Choose up to one target creature, put a +1/+1 counter and a counter from among flying, first strike, lifelink, or vigilance on it. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may put a permanent card with mana value 3 or less from among them onto the battlefield with a shield counter on it. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Create 5 3/3 White Angel creature tokens with flying. Yellow Fountain. 2 and a white tap, untap a creature you control. Untap a tapped creature you control. Create a 1/1 green-white citizen creature token. 2 and tap, untap 2 tapped creatures you control to draw a card. And then 5 white and tap, untap 15 tapped creatures you control, you win the game. So Lincon, it'll definitely see play. I think that third ability isn't going to see as much play as people will want it to and try and break it for, but that second ability, being able to draw cards in white, is going to be very, very useful. Wiretapping. Hideaway 5. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, then put the rest on the bottom in a random order. When you draw your first card during each of your draw steps, draw a card. So let's draw a second card. Then if you have 9 or more cards in your hand, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. I feel like if you're in a deck that's going to want to do that, you're going to have those cards before wiretapping is really the one that's doing it for you. Devilish Valet. 3 mana, 1/3 trample haste. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, double its power until end of turn. Okay, that can get out of hand pretty quickly. Kid Kanto, Mayhem Diva. When it enters the battlefield, create the citizen. Beginning of combat on each player's turn. A tap 2 untapped creatures you control. When you do, target creature that player's control gets +2/+2. Okay. Just the way that was worded sounded very weird. I had to reread it to myself. When you do, target creature that player controls gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. Goad that creature. Henzi Toolbox Tor. Each creature spell you cast with mana value 4 or greater has Blitz. The Blitz cost is equal to its mana cost. You may choose to cast that card for its Blitz cost. If you do, it gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Blitz costs you pay cost 1 less for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. Okay. 3/3 for 3. Jaxus the Troublemaker. Legendary creature, human warrior for 4 mana, 2/3. Tap, discard a card, create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control. It gains haste When it dies, draw a card and sack it at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. And then it's Blitz for 1 in a red. Sorry. You cast it for its Blitz cost, gains haste. When it dies, draw a card and sack it at the beginning of the next end step. Ziatora, the Incinerator. Flying 6/6 for 6. Beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, it deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. And you create 3 treasure tokens. It's not a bad card at all. And Hello the Painter. 1/3 for 3 with Death Touch. First instant or sorcery spell you cast each turn has casualty 2. As you cast it, you sack a creature with power 2 or greater. When you do, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. I mean, yeah, okay. Little chat. 1 in the blue. Casualty 1. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the other on the bottom of your library. I mean, it's not bad. Mise Obscure Oculus. 4 for a 2/4. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature can't be blocked this turn. It connives. Then choose another attacking creature with lesser power. That creature gains double strike until end of turn. To have a creature connive, draw a card, then discard a card. If you discarded a non-land card, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. Ledger Shredder. 2 mana, 1/3 flying. Whenever a player casts their second spell, it connives. It's not bad at all. Disciplined Duelist. 3 mana, 2/1, double strike. It enters the battlefield with a shield counter on it. If it would be dealt damage or destroyed, remove a shield counter from it instead. Yer the Pulverizer. 4 mana, 3/3. Enters the battlefield, put a shield counter on target creature. Whenever it attacks, target creature you control gains trample and +X/+X, where X is number of different kinds of counters among permanents you control. Okay. So that's going to go in the keyword counters deck. Falcospara, Pact Weaver. Flying Trample 3/3 for 4. Enters a battlefield with a shield counter. Look at the top card of your library anytime. Cast spells by removing the counter from a creature you control in addition to paying their other costs. Okay, that's an interesting one. I feel like it has a shield counter, but that's not going to be the decks it's played in. Broker's Charm. Target creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Deals damage to target creature, planeswalker, and opponent controls. Destroy an enchantment, just draw 2 cards. Riveters. Opponent sacrifices creature or player, highest mana value. Exile top 3 cards until your next end step, you may play them. Exile target player's graveyard. Raffine, Flying Ward 1. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature connives X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Draw X cards and discard X cards. Put a +1/+1 counter on that creature for each non-land card discarded this way. I mean, for 3 mana, 1/4, that's not bad at all. Lord Xander, what I think is a new mill commander, self mill commander. Enters the battlefield, target opponent discards half the cards in their hand rounded down, attacks, mills half their library rounded down, dies, sacrifices half the non-land permanents rounded down. 6/6 for 7. I mean, it's expensive, but I think getting red into mill is going to do huge things for it. Jetmir, 4 mana, 5/4. +1/+0 vigilance if you control 3 creatures. +1/+0 trample if you control 6 or more creatures. +1/+0 and double strike. Control 9 or more creatures. Okay. So it's a go wide deck. Cabaretti Charm. Damage to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker. Creatures get +1 and trample until end of turn. 2 citizens. Obscura. Return target multicolored permanent with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tap. Counter target instant or sorcery spell. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with mana value 3 or less. Broker's Ascendancy. Beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control and a loyalty counter on each planeswalker. I mean, yeah, it's going to do great. Maestro Charm. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Put 1 into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Each opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life, or it deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. And the rest of the Triome lands, I mean, basics look cool, but I'm not as excited about them as I was about some of the others. It doesn't matter that they're full art. One island looks cool, but that's about it. I honestly like the look of the actual basics better than the full art basics. Yeah, I don't know. There are some cards that are going to do good in there, but all in all, nothing really exciting me. Hey, Fish Games, how's it going? Was just reading through all the new Capenna spoilers that are out so far. Yeah, was bored and I figured out how to stream from my phone, so I figured I'd do a car stream. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about New Capenna so far. Like the rest of the Triome lands are gonna be awesome to fill out that curve, but it, I like some of the cards. Yeah, Spence was working into past midnight, so yeah, the Triomes are gonna do great, but I don't think there's a huge amount in there, and what there is doesn't feel chase enough to really go beyond the Triomes. Like some of the stuff looks interesting, maybe one or two powerful cards, but the rest of it seems very situational or build around. Like personally, like I like Lord Xander. I definitely am going to be editing one of my commander decks for him to add red to it and give it a different avenue to its goal. But I don't think it's a powerful card in general situations. It very much has to be built around to be powerful. Right? There's the one ascendancy that they've revealed so far. That's okay. Yeah, that's gonna do great, but it has to be in that color. Now, I think most of the decks, excuse me, that are playing it will be in that color, but it could be very slow, and if you don't have the rest of it to match up, it's worthless. So we've seen this is going to be the third of, is it five Praetors that they have? Or is it four? Five? 'Cause I'm just thinking how they were moving through the sets, right? With what the Brothers War was, were we going to get all five of them before we get to it? But if we're only on three, we'd either have to get a second Praetor in this set or two in the next set. And I feel like if they're going to do it, it fits better in this set to double up on Urabrask because he's the odd one out. Then I'm wondering if the Brothers War is going to be manipulated by all the Praetors by the time it comes around. And what we're all hoping for with the Brothers War isn't going to be what we end up getting. Because I could see them bringing all the Praetors in and having them manage to travel in through time, or be of an omnipresent timeline sort of self where they can move back into the Brothers' War time and affect what happened there. Yeah, I feel like that's the one they're saving for last. So it's Shieldred that's missing still. Wonder where they would put Shieldred in for it. Like they did the story of New Capenna, so that's the other reason why it's like, I don't think it's going to end up in this set. I'm not completely up to my lore on it, so wondering, was Shieldred possibly actually killed, so it's only 4 that are left? Uh, I'm looking it up if it says anything. It does say it's unknown if Shieldred still lives, so there's no definitive answer. Because if she's actually dead, then I could see Elish coming in on this one. And maybe the reason they go back is to try and get a new Black Praetor. Interesting. Yeah, I was scanning through the wiki and I didn't see that. I just got to a point saying that Elish Norton had decimated her land area, something, and it was unknown if she was still alive. But yeah, that's nuts. Okay. Looking at the concept art, I don't know how well you can see it. There you go. There's the inner portion that would squirm away. Uh, I think I need to do oh, that'd be awesome, Fish Games. Yeah, the Facebook group you posted in I is just for my one show that I'm doing. Um it's not in this video, but in a couple of my last videos there should be my Discord link where I do have a spot for like posting up your videos and sharing them with everything if you want to hop in there. Yeah, I think for why am I being like that? Let me find you the link. That would be easier. Do have another phone in my hand that I can do it with. Need to change to the right account to be able to do it from YouTube. There you go. No problem. I think for this Monday's Magic Making Mondays stream, I'm gonna I'm debating on revisiting my proxies or going on to doing a couple of alters. I'm thinking I'm gonna go for the alters and do Leonardo Capitec Wrecker alter. That just means I have to find all my paints and everything for it. I'm guessing on minis though. For like I'm gonna say Warhammer, but any of them because I know there are a whole bunch of different ones, or for D&D. Makes sense to use them. Like you don't have to fit a specific design, so use the characters and the minis that you have. You have an airbrush to paint with. That helps kill some of the time needed for all of it. Yeah, I know that sort of feeling. Oh yeah, especially if you're all doing them all by hand. Because it's even just getting some of the base stuff done where you can batch it out and then go in and do individual details, right? Just such a time saver with that sort of stuff. I would recommend starting with a cheap kit off of Amazon or something where you get all the parts you need and just learn how it kind of works first before deciding on a head that's really your investment. So by regular paint, you're talking about mini paints, right? Or are you talking about just like standard acrylics? So either way, you just got to get the proper thinner for it, thin down the mini paints, and you can use it in the airbrush. Yeah, so Citadel has like the liquid cleaner water sort of stuff. It's not water, but looks like water. And you put a couple drops of that into the airbrush with a little bit of the paint, and it thins it out so it won't clog the airbrush. Yeah, you can use basically any paint out of an airbrush as long as it can get to a liquid enough consistency. If you have to water it down too much, you're going to lose some of the coverage with it, but multiple layers can deal with that. I know it doesn't always look the best with airbrush going over multiple layers, but if you're going for that kind of solid color, you're going to go over multiple times anyways. If when you're looking at it, it's between like a mid-range airbrush and a cheap pump, or a good pump and a cheap airbrush, go with a good pump. Once you get into a bit of the feeling, you're going to want to upgrade the airbrush anyways into a good one. And having that good pump to go with it is going to go a long way. And then, yeah, like, so you could use the cheap airbrush that you start with. Oh, I didn't recommend a brand for it. I just said check on Amazon for something cheap. Um, it's something like uh, Ottawa is the like prime brand for airbrushes. But I picked up the airbrush portion, not the pump with it, for like 15 bucks with a couple tanks, couple different nozzles. Like there's probably a Harbor Freight one that's cheap. I know Harbor Freight is known for that in the States. We don't have them up here. Um, you want one that says dual action for the airbrush, because what that does is it gives you control both on how much paint and how hard you're spraying in two different motions. I'm trying to think if I can remember the name of the YouTube channel where I learned a lot of the stuff from. And I can't, but that's what their YouTube channel is basically all on, painting minis. Yeah, I go on deep dives sometimes where I just like find something that's okay, that's interesting, and I'll watch like 50, 60 videos in a row on it. And then I won't watch anything else for like ages if I ever go back to it. I think it's part of my ADHD where I end up hyper focusing on something. At least what I'm kind of doing it on right now is like streaming and video editing sort of stuff. So it's to help with growing the channel and doing more for it. Up until my laptop died, I was working on some like 3D compositing stuff in DaVinci Resolve. Yeah, that can probably be it. Uh, for me, like some of it is just okay, that's really interesting. There are concepts in it, and I don't even try and do it at all myself. Like I've painted minis before, but it was so long ago that I have, I would say, no experience in doing it because it was like, God, 25 or so years ago. Like I have other painting stuff I've done where I can transfer it, but uh Warhammer 40K. I can't remember the names of the one guys. They were the four-armed close quarter guys, and then Tyranids with spear cannons. One of my buddies, when I was younger, his dad was very much into miniatures and like war miniatures and historic stuff, and got us a little bit into it. So at that point, had gotten a few, but I was 12. They were expensive, and I didn't have a lot of money, so it was just the few that I got and painted them up and played around. And I think I still have them at my mom's place somewhere. But I haven't really done much with them since. I'm not the greatest in social situations, so you know, getting a regular group and stuff together to do that and play isn't the easiest for me. So like when I play Commander, I don't have a regular play group. I tend to play just whoever's at my LGS. And then yeah, there are some people who I see more often and we play more often, but not what I would call a regular play group. I never thought of that because the ones with spear cannons were cast. They weren't plastic. The four-armed guys were plastic, so they're not worth much more, I wouldn't think. They still make them from what I remember seeing recently. Oh, it's get them back is just go find them at my mom's. I have a good idea where they might be at my mom's too. I just don't know where the container that they would be in is. But like I've done some proxy painting and stuff since then, so I have done fine painting. Yeah, that's not even a game I thought of a secondary market for with them. So it's definitely something I'll have to look into the next time I head in and visit her. Yeah, that's probably what they'd end up getting if I did sell them. But I doubt I'd have that much. I have like four guys. I only got one pack of them, so I wouldn't expect it to be a couple $100. Yeah, if I had like a whole squad, that would be a different story for sure. But I just got like the one box of the plastic guys and the one like blister pack of the metal guys. I actually have a couple minis I need to paint that are just my LGS had their 15th anniversary this past year, and they did some 3D prints of their mascot guy and cake that was actually a monster too. So I ended up picking those up to support them and still need to paint those. Oh yeah, those guys that I painted look rough. I know they look rough. But I had no idea what I was really doing other than putting color on them when I was painting them at that time. I think I maybe tried to give a part a different color. I know I did like the brains of the four-armed guys were a different color than the rest of their bodies. This is annoying me. I need to figure out their names now. I have no idea what the lighting was like when I painted them. Do they even have the Tyranids anymore? Okay, they do. Just wasn't showing them to me when I tried looking for them. So it was termagants with spike rifles. looks like it might have been Gene Stealers that were the other guys I had. Yeah, so like maybe the spike rifle guys might be worth something because I don't think you can get them, but I think the Gene Stealers look almost identical. Yeah, yeah. So those ones I can definitely see. Yeah, so I'm seeing one that's saying spike rifle, but it's not a full set of them. Right now, I haven't been doing a lot of other games. I want to get into playing a D&D campaign, but again, social skills, hard to find group, especially when everything's closed. I never played it before, but I've done some of the like choose your own adventure books and stuff and RPG games. Yeah, and I was talking with some people about getting something set up to do, but nothing's come of it, at least as of yet. I guess if you know where when you haven't played before, you don't know where to look. Or I guess when you don't do the search for it either, because I haven't searched for looking for a group online. I don't know. It's that feel like there are too many things on the plate already, even though I want to do more. So having that, okay, it's people I actually know already gives a little bit more of that. I have to follow through with it, and I can't back out because of my ADHD or anxiety or whatever at that time. Okay. I also don't use a lot of Facebook, so I wouldn't have searched for a Facebook group to begin with. So yeah, I will try and check that one out. Yeah, and it looks like tons of fun and something I would enjoy. I just never had the opportunity to play it when I was younger. Like, surprisingly, the friend whose dad did the minis would have kind of been the one or the friend group to have done it with, but they didn't play D&D, at least not at that age. They ended up making like their own games and stuff that we played, but oh yeah, I've watched lots of Critical Role and some of the other stuff, and that's part of why it's like, okay, I really want to try this out. Like Yeah, I would be going in without any experience playing, but I don't feel like I would be deer in headlights, kind of like I don't know anything going into it. Yeah, uh, I watched, like, I had all the episodes on, but I I couldn't get as into it as I do the regular Critical Role show. It's not that it was bad or anything. I don't know. It just felt weird. Didn't feel as engaging. Now, like that said, I'm probably still going to watch any more episodes they put out of it. But, like, if I look at Legend of Vox Machina versus Arcane, Arcane is amazing, and I've never played the game and don't know anything about the characters. If like if it wasn't a Critical Role thing where I had some sort of background knowledge to it, I don't think I could have finished Vox Machina. Sweet. Yeah, my laptop's sitting beside me with no battery right now. Latest show that I've been watching as it comes out is Moon Knight. The first two episodes are out, and that whoops, phone fell over, and that's been really funny and just separate from the MCU in a way that stuff hasn't really been lately. But I do think that by the end of it, they'll tie it back in. Another game I've been watching a lot of that I'm debating on actually trying out is Minecraft, surprisingly. I don't know if you know Loading Ready Run, but they have a couple guys on their crew that play Minecraft and stream it. It honestly seems like it can be played in kind of whatever games sort of thing you want to play, kind of within a reason, but like you can play a building game where you're just building stuff, or you can play a fighting game where you're battling stuff all the way through and stuff. And then like Tim Hortons, which is a local coffee joint. See, and I feel like kind of like an RPG. Definitely not first person shooter, but something more along the lines of Fable or that, where you have to get the weapons and make and craft and do all that different stuff. But coffee place Tim Hortons in Canada has a giveaway game thing called Roll Up the Rim, and I won a free month of Game Pass. So I'm thinking I'm gonna redeem that and try out Minecraft with that for a month. Seeing it's free on Game Pass right now. But yeah, that's one of the things that deters me from getting into stuff like that. Okay. Is that on Game Pass as well? Okay, cool. Yeah, I brought it up. I'm reading on it and uses system reference document from Wizards, a variant of the fifth edition rules. So yeah, I'll definitely check that one out. And then I'm thinking of doing a ridiculous thing and streaming an ASCII game as well that I like. I don't know if you've heard of it. Adom, ADOM, Ancient Domains Mystery. So they do have a non ASCII version now, but I started playing it way back when I was like in high school and it was only ASCII at that time. So it's an RPG where you're going around and you have to go into dungeons and find the missions and all that, but it's all just the images are done by text. Hey DJ, how's it going? And then yeah, now they have like proper images and stuff, but it was always just tons of fun and really difficult because it's just character creation with different abilities and that it's kind of like um Elder Scrolls sort of stuff where you put your points and what you do and how you do it all affects your character in different ways. Very nice. Oh, they have the graphical version of it out for free now too, so might even play some of that. Haven't played the graphical version. So like, oh, so there's the character in a room and all the dots are just like normal points, but then they've upgraded to have like actual images. Nice. Glad to see it's moving. It seemed a little stuck there for a bit, but that tends to happen when it's still, quite a bit out. You just want to do that flex and walk out of the store with the sealed case. Yeah, I can't say I've gotten a full case of anything. I think I got pretty close to a full case of Modern Horizons 2 collector boosters, though. I got like, I think 4 or 5 out of the box from my store. Like, if you have a premium store near you and you can get this stuff on pre-release, you can go mad. Like, I picked up one collector booster of MH2 on pre-release, and I just kept flipping cards out of it to get up to, like, I think I opened 6 in total. It just feels kind of bad doing it to my LGS because I did it with Strixhaven as well. Well, and it's also like doing it in the middle of a pandemic. If it was just regular business, I probably wouldn't have felt as bad. But my LGS did get their online store up and running, and they're doing great with that. And like, their Magic sales aren't their prime source of income. They do more off of like minis and tabletop games. So glad I managed to get streaming from my phone to work. Ah, your burger can't make me jealous tonight. I had the keg for dinner. No way, DJ. This is like starting time for you. No, I wouldn't take it as stealing thunder. I've been on for almost 2 hours now, just hanging out. So just got to figure it out so that get everybody over to yours. And then I'm ready to go back on when you finish so that they can move over to mine and I can get more viewers. Is it enough mail to make a video out of? That's a tough one. I can see kind of both sides to it. If it's someone who's normally there when you're live most of the time, I'd say live. But if it's someone who's not, then I would say a video would be better. And like, you can always just record the opening portion or the male portion of the live and make that into the video for later. So I feel like Ace will probably be around soon if he's not already for that. Whittler wouldn't be there for a live right now, but is usually good about going back and checking stuff out, especially if you're gonna tag him in it or put it in the title. He'll check that out. So I could see it going either way. Yeah, that's true. You do have that immediate replay, but you can also take clips from it and edit it down into shorts or other videos as well to give multiple uses to the footage. And like there are people who don't watch lives and don't go back and double watch them. And then it depends on like how long you're live for, if there's a lot of dead time, right? Like the beginning of this live stream is going to be relatively like people start watching and go, okay, never mind, if I as just something that's up. Yeah, exactly. So like if you're cracking packs, as long as you're making sure you're framed well enough as you're doing it, you can take those pack clips and reuse them as shorts, right? So it's you're doing the filming you would be doing for it anyways if you were going to do the shorts, but you do it with an audience and have some interaction. Yeah. Or like if you want to get really fancy with it, you have a second camera doing a recording as you stream it. That's why I was saying you can have the second camera set up. You can crop it down too if you positioned yourself well in the center of your camera, because the shorts are about the shape and size of Magic Card from a film standpoint. Yeah, that's it too. If you're editing it together, you don't have to have the whole thing in there. You just kind of fast forward through and show the hits, and you can get a few packs in. Yeah, more arms and more computers, DJ. How do we hire editor J and not have to pay an arm and a leg that we can't afford? Then again, I don't think editor J has the time for it. That's true. It is the best to know how to do it on your own as well. But once you have that knowledge, you can get someone else to do it for you so you have the time. Yeah. And like he was checking out a program, DaVinci Resolve, that's free. And he's was having a lot of confusion with kind of how it worked. And yeah, just because it's different. But once you kind of get it, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. I can see, I understand, but getting past that learning curve, especially when you're already settled and know how to do it one way, can be really hard to do. Learning from mistakes is one way, as long as you actually learn from them and don't just keep doing them. Are you working on certain programs? Yeah, I haven't heard of Make as a program. Yeah, I've been using DaVinci Resolve for video stuff, and then Inkscape and GIMP for images. Yeah, and that's just part of the progression. Like, I need to start making thumbnails to begin with. Never mind how much of a pain they are just to have them, because right now I'm not usually making anything. I put up the one image for my Magic Making Mondays show, but that's not really a thumbnail for the episode. It's the advertisement for the show. Yeah, it can be hard to do some of it when you don't really feel like you have that technical aptitude towards it. That'd be cool. Yeah, I was talking with, I think it was Strong Brews about it, and I think I had the idea of doing MTG D&D where you're actually like the planeswalker. So you're choosing from a card and you have things kind of more based off of that than fully into the D&D side of it. Oh yeah, like if you really want to see how they started with it too, you got to go back to their season 1 stuff back before they got popular, when it was just those first couple episodes that they had on the internet. But like even pretty early on, they were backed with Geek and Sundry, so they had access to some better equipment and some editing and all that sort of stuff that they wouldn't have had if they were just doing it on their own. But like I was saying, they had the setup they did at the beginning because of Geek and Sundry. Yeah, for that kind of setup, you're looking at what, at least four cameras. Oh, easy 10K. But think about all the video space you're going to need to have for four cameras going for the whole thing. Because you're going to want to catch whatever happens. And when that happens, you don't know. So they've all got to be recording the whole time. Actually, something that might work for it is like, would all your players have a laptop with a webcam they can use? That'd be pointing at them. And then you only need the one that's pointing down at the table if you've got anything going on the table. Yeah, so like you can literally bring that into the table, and that way you have a personal view on everybody and just have one main camera that gets everybody at once. That'll give it a different feel to a lot of the stuff that's out there already too. Okay. I don't know if owlbear is one I've heard of. I've heard of a that there are a couple different ones out there. So yeah, it sounds like doing that sort of duality of it, having the online webcam for each person and all that while sitting at the table would be right in line for how you run it and probably be a really cool, unique way to watch a game go down. Yeah, Pandini made a lot of people learn to do stuff that they were not wanting to or not expecting to do. Jeez. Yeah, so it was ski season. They shut us down for March break and didn't know that's why we were getting shut down at the time. And yeah, I'm applying at a different ski hill because I want to keep going to finish out the season, then find out, oh, yeah, no, everything's going into lockdown. So you were patient zero that brought it over this way. Just messing with you. Same here, knock on wood. For some reason, I was going to type my response. Yeah, it felt so weird going into the restaurant not having to wear a mask. Because, like, here we've only had the mask restrictions lifted for a week or so. Yeah, it's been one of those things where it's like, okay, great, it's stopping this, but it's hurting us in all these other ways. Is it really worth it at this point? But then, like, regardless of what restrictions would have been and stuff, while it was that around with my wife, I would have been wearing a mask, doing all that, being safe because she's got lupus and can't risk getting something like COVID. Yeah, like, thinking for myself, I don't care. All right, attack me. I probably won't even notice and just keep going. Yeah, that's fair. We're finally out of March 2020. Yeah, I know my non-winter work is expecting a really busy summer with concerts and everything. Well, with the new telescope they launched, we're supposed to be able to get a better knowledge if there are any aliens and which planets we can go inhabit when we ruin this one. Oh yeah, 5,000 years you're going to see Mars 2.0. But we'll be long gone before that even gets there. That is actually the most likely scenario, that there has been intelligent life throughout the universe and throughout the galaxies, but they never made it to a point of getting past their own planet or solar system. Still just probably better to keep it off on the side of the stream. The funny thing is that one I'd be fine with on the stream because it's actually in a vape, not an actual burning thing. So do I, but it's nice to have something you can just do nice and quick when you need it at times. I could have eaten more meat. I only had an 8 ounce. I definitely know that feeling. I should be plugging in my laptop and working on my promo for my 100 sub giveaway for Twiddler to advertise, but instead I'm here enjoying it more than I would be doing the ad. I'm been trying to work on a new intro video, and I don't know if I like what I did so far. So I have not the one that's my avatar beside my name on here, but the one that's got the purple and green overlaid that's on the Magic Making Mondays. It's about 15 seconds right now, but I have the logo zoom out, like come in, do 2 spins, then the banner comes underneath and that spins twice. But I don't know, it feels weird off somehow. So I'm started to work on a second attempt of something, and then my battery died. So yeah, it's interesting to do it on DaVinci the way I'm trying to, because I'm doing it in a 3D space. Yeah, I have an idea from what I was kind of starting with. It actually evolved, and I think that's going to be a good one once I can get it implemented the way I want to. I'm going to have a couple of pictures going around a sphere essentially, but you won't see the whole height of the sphere. And then that go into the logo somehow. I haven't figured that part out yet. Yeah, like my problem with the one that I did so far is like it feels like it's just doing the spinning for nothing, and it goes like it's only 15 seconds long, but it feels like it goes too long. Where what I'm picturing with this one, 15 seconds might not be long enough, but it wouldn't feel like it's going as long as that one is. See, I could see yours being a nice, pretty simple one. Yeah, that sounds cool. Nice. What style of animation are you going for? Toony? See, I was thinking like you just have the fishing rod in the top corner with the line coming down through the whole frame, some air bubbles, and then you reel up the fish games. Yeah, just something simple. Do you have your logo that you have on the Discord? That's okay. If you can link me a copy in Discord, I can see what I can do up for you. Pretty, just a quick, easy thing that gives you something to run at the beginning of your uh, videos. Sounds good. Yeah, so after looking at the logo, because of the way it's facing, the only difference I'm thinking is as the fishing line's pulling it, it would come up. Nice. And then the fishing line would snap and the rod would come off the screen. And then you'd just be left with the fish games in the middle. So background would be a blue. Would you want something lighter or darker? And then in association with that, what color would you want for the fish games? So, like the background ocean color, would you want a lighter ocean color or a darker, like more of a midnight blue versus a baby blue? Those are probably a bit too extreme on either side, but lighter. Okay. Have to see how it looks putting it together, but I'm thinking have try and fill in the body behind the fish, the word, with a green so I can have it blue for the word, and that'll make it pop a little bit more, just so it's not blue on blue. All right. You've overtaken next Monday's episode. I'm probably going to be a bit late on that one again, just because I'm going to try and take the gig that I have that goes until 5. So it would likely be 8 Eastern, so 5 Pacific that I get on to do it. Cool. Your Bing? Or was that supposed to be bling? Bong. Okay. Yeah, that's my primary way. One hitter out of the bong. And not very wasteful either. Looks like DJ's popping on. Yeah, unfortunately, I'd rather be getting sleep, but my body doesn't want me to. All right. I am going to pop off so I can head over to DJ's stream and check out what he's got to open. So yeah, I'll hook up with you on Discord. We'll get you a intro video figured out on Monday. Sounds good. See you there.